Here's to a video I didn't think I was going to do after update 2. However, we are here with a video praising the update. I'm gonna give you a bit of context, but let's start with the big one. Let's have a look at the guest flow. On screen, you're seeing the new guest flow. I'm gonna put left to it the old guest flow in the same park as a little bit of an example. We are going to do a bit of a more deeper dive into the guest flow in a minute, but while you're looking at this wonderful park in front of us and while you have seen the comparison, here is a bit of context. You know that I have been very vocal about the shortcomings and the disappointment of the launch of Planet Coaster 2, to a degree that many people accused me of being the reason why the game is so bad in the first place, which was kind of funny to be honest, because I don't really have that much influence. Well, that said, I've been so vocal about this because I genuinely think it was deserved, and I genuinely think there was a lot of things that needed to be fixed. And now we are here, and I want to praise Frontier for this update, simply because of the reason that I always think, always and always, you have to look at things from a certain perspective, from a certain context. And I don't know what exactly the reason was for the launch of the game, if the investors made some pressure, or if it really was the decision to launch the game, or simply being naive to believe the people would buy it anyways. Now, we are half a year almost, or like 4.5 months into the development, and there was some justified fear, at least from my side I guess, that maybe because of the bad launch of the game wouldn't be continued in a certain way and only the bare minimum was going to be done. And this is exactly what people have been commenting, and I don't think that's fair. I think this update, and I'm going to show you why, there is a whole lot of stuff improved now, many things that they didn't even put in their changelog, and the changelog was already incredibly massive. Now, let me tell you, there are so many little things, like tiny things you don't notice in the first place, but very, very, very important ones indeed, that make the whole game so much more accessible, so much more better, and it builds the foundation for upcoming new features. Okay, let's jump in, okay? I talked enough about the context now. You guys should be seeing what I'm talking about. So, first things first, you can see this is my park. We all know it, the Handiatic Dreamland. If you want to be spoiled, there are some new stuff we are going to see in, well, actually tomorrow or Sunday's episode, but that should not be today's point. Now, you know, we do have a couple of things, and I'm going to start with the easy things. Let's start with the video walls. You can see there are a couple of wonderful video walls in. There are different sizes. You can actually take this one or like a bigger one. And the good bit is you can even scale them tremendously, and you can plop them down as always, and we can put basically our images on. Either we take the one from the in-game, or for PC users you can also have aquariums like this, for example, or you can have some textures like that. Very cool stuff. But what's even better is you can go and connect a speaker to it. Like that's something they've shown, and it's so cool. If the video has sound, you can connect a speaker to it, but even if you have an image that has no sound, you can connect sound to it, which I like. But the fact that you can scale these things and you can scale them with your texture is just so genuinely cool and convenient. Something that really is a lot of or like a big improvement over what has been done. But you know what the update contained, okay? So I'm not going to go through everything that the update contained. I want to talk about the things that they did not talk about. If I'm going to click on this coaster over here, there are some menus obviously. But if we go in a certain menu over here, you can see all of a sudden there is a friction slider. Like, why is this important? Well, because the friction slider has been previously a global setting, and not only for your park, no, it was a global setting in the game. So meaning, previously, if I wanted this coaster to be friction 0.9, every single coaster in game for me would have been 0.9, which is insane. Then moving on, we have a tilt coaster over here, and you'll see now, potentially it's not going to work either, I don't know, but they fixed the tilt. That means we don't have a launch anymore, it's a normal one. So these brakes over here are finally redundant. I should definitely take them away. We can actually have a little look. I didn't even check if it's working. Well, apparently it should be working, because otherwise we don't have the people here. But you can see that also my timing over here doesn't work anymore. So they definitely changed something about the coaster tilt itself. And now, as you can tell, the speed is way reduced. We had a very fast coaster. Well, it still works, but it definitely is slower than it was before, which is a very, very good thing that they finally fixed this. People have been moaning about this quite a lot, because if you had like a simple test, a U test, you basically had a U form that was equally the same height. Like from physics perspective, you should not be going above this height over here, but in fact the game did exactly this. Now this has been fixed as well, which is super lovely. A couple of other things I tested, I don't have them in game over here, but we can quickly do this. I'm just going to quickly show that to you. Oops, let's go to the track rides and create a custom one, and we're gonna go for the log flume. Let's plop it down somewhere over here, it doesn't really matter. Let's put that down, blah blah blah, done. And go to test, and we're gonna sit ourselves inside of this thing, and look at that, the camera is fixed, and the whole position is fixed, and the whole movement, as you can see, is fixed in the camera position. I honestly, I really love the fact that they did. What they haven't fixed yet is the water texture on these rides. Hopefully they're going to look in that into that in the future. It could be a tad better. Maybe, I don't know, you know, I'm not really checked about this, but let's continue with the praise, because there's so much tiny things in here I want to quickly say. Well, obviously multi-select is like bonkers, you know, look at that, you can select these things, and then it's like, you know, I just don't want to have path and pools, and then you just select again, and you don't select the path. It is so freaking convenient. It makes the whole process of creating groups and so on so much easier. Speaking of creating groups, let's say we want to create a group. What do we want? Let's say we are going to create a group of, yeah, like there are some, like this is a kind of a nice asset over here. Let's select this one, and then you can see all nice, and I want to create a group. Where's the button down here? It's gone, but now it's way more convenient down here. You can say create a new group. Done. The group is done in 2 clicks. Previously, that was 4 clicks you needed to do. It was select the tool, select what you have in front of you, confirm the selection. This confirm option is gone totally, which is lovely. But that's by far not all they have done. If we click on the menu, and a lot of these menus are now a lot more clickable, a lot more accessible, which I love, but you will notice that I can't simply select a favorite anymore. Now what you gotta do, you have to right click on this thing and say favorite. I love that, because I cannot explain how often I've freaking misclicked and had some random favorites in here. Like these 3 pieces, for example, they are not my favorites. I don't even know why they're in. You can now just really easily unfavorite them, and done. A couple of other things they have improved. For example, and let me just quickly show you, the scenery brush, for example. The scenery brush used to be very nice as well, but they also have overhauled the UI here in what I find is a good way. It's not so complicated anymore. Up here you do have the preset and the custom set just by easily clicking on these 2 icons. They also have improved a lot of these inconveniences over here with like the spacing of the font, like a lot of things have changed. And now if you want to see a larger image, you can just click on that little icon over here, and you do see all the things that are in this group, and you can easily select the ones that you want to. It's a lot more simple in order to just grab all of these at once, and not going to, you know, click through all the menus, but just simply click that open. And then we do have, for example, our snow brush over here that I created for my snow part over here. The reason why this is relatively slow to be done is simply because this thing is kind of crazy. It's stupid. Another thing which is pretty good, and you can finally click on the delete button, and then the delete menu opens. I'm not sure if it was only a bug for me, but at least it was a problem, and I couldn't do this. I always needed to find this thing down here in order to just click on delete and have that. But yeah, the delete option obviously works the same way. What I didn't check, but we can quickly do so, if we added a brush, can I now, wait, hold on, I'm just gonna click on my snow brush over here and say edit brush. I'm wondering if I can. Okay, they didn't change that yet. I hope that we could like select the snow, but what I want to see as well is if we go for, okay, I don't have favorites in here, but if I go into the bushes, for example, and disable the favorites, obviously, and it's yeah, perfect. Okay, the menu finally stays open where I was. So if I go all the way down to the bushes and then I have the bush, and I want to add another bush, we are still in the bush category, which I think is really, really damn good. Again, it's a little bit of a pity that you can't say upfront to, you know, keep a certain color, but hopefully it's going to be, you know, if we type in decal, and these are obviously recolorable, you can't recolor, you have to live with the default color, unfortunately. But hey, that was just like a little thing. Will be discarded. Yes, I don't want to save that. Okay, so this is that. In general, I am absolutely a big fan of these subtle changes, and you'll find a lot of these in the menus. There's a lot of little things in the UI that has been improved, like you can see this here with the outlines of the menus. It's a little bit more nicely organized everywhere. On the top left, there is this little indicator now what selected pavement you actually have at the moment. So, for example, if we do switch now from this to this, you have the indication still available, so you know exactly what you're going to place down. I love that because usually I forgot. Like now, if you click on certain areas, you will get that one because that's just how they do this. Like if you double click on this area, you'll get that one. And if you double click on that area, you'll get that one. And it tells you the railing is enabled as well. And the only one is it's not your color that you selected. It just shows you the style. So if we go to color, you can see obviously I don't have the red, I have it in gray, but at least I know the style and I know the railing that it's selected. So a very nice little thing that improves the workflow just massively for me personally. I just discovered that yesterday because I initially didn't know that was a thing they fixed, but I love this little thing. It just makes my life at least a lot more easy and a lot more simple. And the same goes obviously for the mode you are in. Sometimes that helps. Now you are in the mode to just round your edges off, as you can tell over here. Very nice as well. And in the queue menu, you have the same then enabled for queues. And you also can now access this menu while doing this. I don't know what exactly the problem was, but before I couldn't do this. Like when I was having the queue tool open, I couldn't select this from this menu. It was a bit of an odd one, but now finally it works. So yeah, I love this little change. Again, like subtle changes you don't notice immediately, but once you're playing the game, and I did this yesterday evening with the update, it just kind of appeared to me that it worked just very, very well indeed. Now, what I also love is, let me show you, if we go for the coaster, and then we go and build the Zephyr coaster, there you go. This one. So I'm going to place this one down, and obviously we can click on done right away, because what we want to do is we want to go to customize, and then we can also have the standard coaster. I just want to go back to this one real quick, and what I am really in love about is the fact how standard that is. Like I genuinely love the idea of having standard coaster. I think the whole discussion kind of grew from the wish of, you know, fans to have just more standardized coasters. But another little thing I love is if you type in Dragon now, we do have the Dragon pieces from the original Zephyr. You know, we could obviously, as they showed, put them in, but like this little attention to detail that we have it. Will I be using this thing? Hell no, I guess not, because I would just use the coaster. But the fact that we have it and we get it and I think of it, I do like. A couple of things I can't really show you, but more talk about is the stability of playing. Not only that this works better, I could show you. Wait, maybe I can show you over here. Hold on. Maybe this is still working, because this area was very, very obvious for that. Yes. So they also have fixed that people do stand somewhere sometimes and just, there you go, and interact, and then just there you go. I don't know if you've seen that, but these two people over here initially haven't been together, and there you go. Oh my god, that was that was the most lovely catch of all times. Okay, what are you doing now? Okay, some random person just interrupted their little love affair. But I've just noticed that they didn't only improve the overall guest flow, which really is a lot improved, but you also have a lot more situations where people interact with each other, or they just simply stand somewhere and have a look. Look at that. There you go. We just have that. They just have a little talk over here. They just have a little chat. I've not seen this before. And I'm really in love. You still have some clipping here and there, don't you worry. But they're just like having a little talk and just standing. This makes the whole thing also more believable. What I wanted to show you earlier, as promised, is we're going to just quickly type in barrier. And what we're going to do is we're going to spam a barrier in, let's say here, this is a kind of a good area to plop some barriers in, just to show you how nicely they are working with this. All right, let's make that even more complicated for them now. There you go. And we're going to speed the whole process up so you can see. There you go. Look at how cool that is. Usually what happened before is that everyone would now find one specific path. And yes, I obviously created a bit of a congestion over here. But like if we are going to, and this is also, by the way, something that is so cool, we can now easily, and hold on, I should be able to do so. Like if I drag over this and we say, I only want to have scenery, let's say only scenery, and we just do the same thing again. We should be able to, oh, well, okay, there's scenery down here. I just wanted to select these things and then delete them. Okay, well, it makes the whole thing more easy to select them individually. A little bit of a, kind of a little caveat over here is that multi-select with shift still doesn't work. I mean, because you don't need shift to drag anymore, but you still can't do this, like, but, you know, just pressing I 1 second is still pretty easy. But, you know, if I do delete them at once now, I could have just undone this, but I wanted to show you real quick. You now don't need to confirm the selection anymore. Now they are all selected, and if I deselect all of them, you can see now how the overall gas flow is going to improve again. It's just I just love that. It really looks so good. We have so much less congestion everywhere. You still have like some bad things over here, but that's like a bad planning of mine anyways, because of the ship being very OP when it comes to its, you know, its attention, and everyone wants to go to that ship, and the rest of the park is not really that much traffic. But like generally, it's such an improvement that I have not expected. I was really cautious to really be excited even for that one. So yeah, just again, this is so cool. There may be even more cool things in the changelog. There is so much listed down as well, like fixed so many things, fixed so many also light dedicated things like that you can see indoors. I haven't tested. You know what? That's the last thing we can quickly do. Let's jump on board with this coaster. Hold on. Just gonna quickly jump on board. There you go, and see if they change something about the lighting change when you go inside. Yeah, that I don't know. That kind of looks pretty similar to how it was before. We gotta check this downstairs. Like this might be a little better because that's a way darker area. Maybe we can see something in there. I don't know. It could be that it is a tad quicker. Let's see what happens if we go in here. Maybe. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But on the other hand, yeah, I have to test this. I have to test this. This could very well be also improved, that the lighting changes quicker. But yeah. So as you can tell from this video, I am very happy with this update. And just to end this video where we've started with a bit of context. Now, apparently, all these changes are not a big reason to return for the game if your problem was that this game is lacking content. It's definitely not a reason to return to the game if you wanted to have new features. But it is definitely a reason to return to the game if you had issues playing the game because it didn't feel like the previous game or Planet Zoo. It's a lot closer to what the Planet games felt like before, and that is a very positive, because I was very doubtful if that's going to happen anyways, and if they will be able to do it. They have shown that there are so many changes they have done, they didn't even talk about, because they are willing to improve beyond the sheer fixes, you know? And in general, I am, and this is maybe the reason why I'm so positive, I'm just delighted and I'm just relieved that they have a clear dedication to fix the game. Like, you have to see this way. The game's launch was really a problem. It was really problematic in terms of a financial standpoint, but also a symbolic standpoint for Frontier as a whole. And it was not, for me personally, I don't know if that's just me, but like if you look into the numbers and into the annual report, I don't think it was a given that they keep on continuing this game as planned. You could have easily said, okay, it was a failure, we made our initial money with it, let's scrap it and go for Jurassic World Evolution 3, for example. That would have been a thing, but I am now more than ever sure that Frontier is going to fix the game and that they're going to make this game as good as it can be before they're going to launch new contents. And yeah, sure, there's a lot still to be fixed. There's a lot. I'm not even speaking about the slides, haven't really talked about the slides anyways, and we didn't touch upon them. We will eventually, but not in this update because it was dedicated to focus on other things. And in the coming days, in the coming videos, I will talk about more things that I discovered, because clearly there's more things that changed under the hood. And yeah, clearly I am very happy about this update because of the given reasons. Please always keep that in the context of the fixes that were necessary, okay? Take it for what it was aimed at. Take it for what it was meant to be and not what you potentially would have loved it to be. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you kind of agree, and if not, tell me what's lacking for you the most so far, and if you discovered something that I haven't, also let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I talk to you in the next one.